Hey there, guys. This is Bree, and you are listening to episode 8 of Comics and Whatnot podcast, Spider-Man No Way Home Review. Hey everybody! Welcome to the Comics and Whatnot podcast, where we dive into all of the best comic-related pop culture stuff. I am your host, Bree here, back for another episode. And you know what, guys? Today is a super special episode because, one, we're talking all about what's essentially the movie of the year, which is Spider-Man No Way Home. And two, since this is such a big deal and such a big movie event, I am very happy to say that we have our very first guest on the show, and that would be Daddy. Hey, Dad. What's up?
Hey,
how you
Ray.
doing? Hi, Dad.
I'm good. I'm good.
How you feeling about being on the show today? First guest.
Oh, I'm honored. I get to be, your first guest, and
Yep.
I guess it kind of should be someone related to you. So
Very fitting.
I'm very honored to be a part of the show.
Yes,
Very
exactly. I'm very glad you're here,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm very excited to be setting some time aside to be able to talk about Spider-Man today, because it's such a good movie.
Yes.
So, you know what? We're going to skip the weekly comic update that we usually do, since it's so big, and we're just going to get right into it and dive right in. So, before we start the review officially, let me just say this is going to be a spoiler review. It's going to have everything that happens in the movie. So please, if you have not seen the movie yet, please save this episode for later. Do whatever you need to do and come back so it doesn't get ruined for you, because this would be the worst movie to get spoiled for at all. So yeah, that would be terrible. So that's just a little warning before we start.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Dad, just to open up, looking back on like all the other movies that have come out this year in 2021, would you or would you not say that No Way Home is the movie of the year? Right.
Absolutely. I'm trying to think back to all the movies that we saw. I think pretty much everything that I've seen, you saw with me. Probably up until now, my favorite was probably the James Bond movie.
Yep.
There's been a lot that were okay. I was happy to see. Some I was happy to see, but I wouldn't pay a dime for it.
Yeah.
But not this one.
Yeah.
This one, it's hard to top it.
Exactly, yeah. And even with, like, stuff like Shang-Chi and Black Widow and stuff coming out, like, those were, like, really good, but I still think that No Way Home goes, like, way above those. Like, I can't think of a
Black Widow had a movie?
Oh, come on, that's a low blow.
I'm just saying. I seem to remember there being one, but it was that was this year?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That was this year.
All right, okay.
Wow.
Well, if you say so.
Yeah, well, now you know how he feels about it, but yeah, so, yeah, I definitely think it tops a lot of the Marvel movies that have come out, and just all movies in general. And Marvel movies that have been out already, like some of the Marvel movies that come out like a while ago, it goes even above some of those too. So I think that's a super big like accomplishment. It's just that good. Yeah. So of course we both know that a whole lot goes down in this movie. It's just a lot happens. But like if we're gonna narrow it down, what would you like? How would you describe like the main synopsis? Like what's like the main crux of what's going on?
Spider-Man messes up. He gets Doctor Strange to go into cahoots with him. They mess up the whole universe. They introduce the multiverse, which is pretty cool. Then they introduce some cool callback characters along the way.
Yes.
They fix things. There's some tragedy along the way. And it wraps up kind of sadly, I would say.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
There's a lot of things that they can do with that, but... it's kind of a sad ending, which I think is what added to the movie being so great.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't have put it better. Yeah, and then it's starting like immediately right after Far From Home, right? So there's like no time skip or anything, which is kind of cool how they did that.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
But like based on what we heard about the movie before it came out, it already sounded good. but then like they expanded on like the storyline and everything, and they added so much to it where it by the end it was so good by the end. So but usually with stuff like this and reviewing stuff, I usually just start with what I liked about whatever I'm reviewing. So I feel like that's a good place to start for this especially. And of course, you know, some of our favorite parts are going to be with the cameos, right? With people coming in and all these returns and all that stuff.
Yes.
So I guess we could just tackle those first. So, and looking back and thinking about it, there was actually a lot of like returns and cameos in this movie, like throughout.
Yeah.
And most of which, a lot of which we knew from the trailer already, who was coming back, like Dr. Octopus and like Green Goblin, all that stuff, all the villains.
Yep.
But one of the first appearances that came up actually like really early in the movie, that I just freaked out over was Daredevil, seeing Daredevil, right? That was so cool.
Yeah.
So like when you saw that, I know like when we first saw the movie, you saw it one night and I saw it the next night. What was your theater's reaction to seeing Matt Murdock there? Did they have?
Well, I was in a good theater, so they were screaming, and I was telling Sherry, I was like, Sherry, that's Daredevil. Yeah. And then people start clapping, and I start clapping. Yeah. And then, you know, he starts explaining what's going on. And then the brick comes through the window and he grabs it and everybody starts clapping for that.
That was so
that was cool too. So in my theater, it was, you know, everybody was, you know, excited. You could tell a lot of people were surprised. I was surprised. I didn't know that he was going to be in it. But the funny thing was the very next night, the audience didn't react at all.
Yeah.
But that's just because I think just of the crowd. Mm-hmm. But in general, yeah, it was a pretty cool reaction.
Yeah, because I think a lot of like the diehard fans, they go like immediately, so that was probably when you would get like the most. Because like even when I went the next day, there wasn't like I don't know, there wasn't like enormous clapping, but there was definitely like a lot of gasping. Like I remember like gasping like really loud, and I was almost like fell out of my seat. I was so excited to see him. Mm-hmm. But did you know about the rumors of him like trying to like come in before the movie? Because there had been a lot of talking about that.
The only thing that I had heard was me and you had a discussion where you had told me, Dad, you know, they're going to start using Matt Murdock, and I didn't know what you meant. I didn't know if you meant like in future films or if he was going to start doing cameos and other stuff, so I didn't connect it to this movie.
Yeah.
So when he popped up, I was surprised, but then I wasn't surprised because we had just talked about this. So then it kind of put two and two together, and I figured, okay, you must have had a discussion or seen something where they were intimating that he may be used. So it was good to see.
Oh, it was so cool. I honestly don't even know where the rumors like originated from. Like I remember hearing that he would be coming back. There's talk about him showing up again, but I have no idea where that came from.
Did it say anything about him being in No Way Home?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, in like some people would ask him in interviews, like, you know, we hear you could come back in the next Spider-Man movie. And he wouldn't know what to say. And I like when I watched those interviews, it was like, to me, that was like the first indicator that he's probably going to be showing up, because he would like have to like carefully choose his words, and he'd be like stuttering a lot. And I was like, okay, that kind of, you know, there's something there. And then I think what I was talking to you about was the announcement that Kevin Feige made that Daredevil would be coming back at some point, and I was like, and that was 1 week before the movie, so I was like, well, I mean, you know, what else do I need?
Good.
But yeah, that was so cool. So
the only thing about that, I mean, you talked about this, is that I did research afterwards, and apparently there's some rumor out there that they did shoot some additional scenes that we did not get to see. Yeah. So I hope that we do eventually get to see it, maybe in like a like a release or something.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like the cameo was great, but it was very brief. Yeah. It was really short.
I would have liked a little more too.
I was just gonna say that. I would definitely could.
Not a lot. It's not a Daredevil movie.
Exactly.
He doesn't need to be flying around and fighting with Spider-Man. It wasn't about that. So I think that I would have liked to have seen maybe the court scene or something.
Yeah, I would have loved that, because like I saw. There was a part on YouTube that I found where it was like him battling in court, and he's so cool in court. Like it's just really cool. But I wish we could have got some of that, or a little bit more screen time. But I mean, coming in, I was thinking that we probably weren't going to see him, if we saw him at all, not as like Daredevil, like fighting on the streets or like, you know, battling anyone, but you know, as the lawyer version, which is what we got. But I loved it. It was so cool. But and because he was in the Netflix MCU instead of like the mainstream, like on Disney Plus MCU, there were some people I feel like at least in my theater, who didn't know who he was.
Yeah, which okay, so they didn't react, but then there were the people in my theater who knew who he was, and they obviously were surprised.
Yeah.
So I heard those people.
Yeah.
Which was kind of neat.
Yeah, that was awesome getting to have him there. And it's weird to think because like the last time he made like a sighting, like the last time we saw him as that character was like 3 years ago in 2018, which seems like a long time ago. But I mean,
well, that's interesting.
Yeah, but I feel like that makes it even like a bigger deal that he was there because it's been like that long of a time since we got to see him. But yeah, I could have used some more time with him, but I'm glad we got what we got at all. And I'm glad there wasn't any like licensing issues with Netflix or anything. Well,
that's one of the things that I think was impressive about this movie because I don't know how hard it was, but I feel like, and we're going to get into some of the other characters that they used. I believe they had to cut deals to get these characters in it. Oh, wow. Yeah. Like I don't know what the relationship was with Netflix other than they took all their movies off of it. So I don't know how good that is. I don't know how hard it is for them to use them, and obviously the deal with Sony to use a lot of the other characters.
Yeah, so, exactly. Yeah, and that's why like I don't know how long it's going to be before No Way Home is on Disney Plus or anything, because like all of the other Spider-Man movies are not on Disney Plus at all. So I don't know about that, but yeah, which is kind of sad. But But yeah, but based on the fact that he was there and that like based on what we now know about like Kingpin and stuff being in like Hawkeye and everything, do you think that there's like at least a tiny bit of a chance for Daredevil to get some sort of continuation, like series or something, any type of continuation at some point?
It's tough. I don't know. I don't know what's involved. I don't know what kind of licensing is involved now. They already did they did a series. I don't know what they're gonna do with him. I'm thinking maybe he'll make appearances in movies now. Yeah. I'm not thinking like a main film.
Yeah, oh no, not.
And I don't think that you're gonna see him have a series like the ones that they have with
on
like,
Netflix,
like the Scarlet Witch and all that stuff. I don't think that's gonna happen. So I think probably the best that we could probably hope for is him maybe making larger cameos in some of the bigger movies. Yeah.
I found out the other day like the girl from Hawkeye who was deaf, the Maya girl, she's having her own series or movie, I think it is, in like, I don't know, a couple of years or something. And in the comics, they're supposed to be like connected, her and Daredevil. So I feel like that probably would be, I don't know, another time we would see him, but I don't know about anything else.
Okay.
Yeah. I hope so though. That would be really cool.
I do too. I tell you, he was awesome.
Yeah.
He was awesome.
That was so cool. And like the part where he caught the brick, I also heard that he has like he's supposed to have better senses than Spider-Man, which is like why he caught it first before him.
Yeah, well I remember as a kid reading the comic books, and that was one of the things that always intrigued me was just how sharp he was because he couldn't see. Yeah. And he was as quick as some of the high level superheroes. So, it was good to see that.
Oh,
that
definitely. Cool. Yeah. Oh, okay. So now that we've talked about Daredevil and how cool that was having him there, I guess we can now go to the villains starting to show up, and some of their fighting scenes too, because that's a little bit where the movie starts to pick up a little bit. So all in all, with the villains that come in, there's obviously Dr. Octopus and Green Goblin. And then there's also, like, Electro the Lizard and Sandman. So when Dr. Octopus first came in on the bridge, was there, like, any reaction to that when you went to go see it? Was there, like, any...
Yeah, a lot of people were reacting. It was a little bit different because anybody who was a fan who knew anything knew what was coming because we've seen the trailers.
Absolutely, yeah, exactly.
So we knew when he was on that bridge... As soon as you start hearing
something,
then you know what's coming.
Yeah.
So it was not as climactic as if you had not seen him in a trailer.
Yeah.
But it was okay. It was still cool.
Yeah,
once he comes out, he pops up there, and I watched it 3 times, and I watched it very closely, and I compared it to when he was in Spider-Man 2, and the fight scenes are just really, really good.
Yeah.
They're really done
I loved
well.
it.
So the way that he introduced him, I thought was well done.
Yeah, and I love their whole fight scene when they first meet on the bridge, and like it was kind of funny when he kind of bests him by like getting control of the arms at the end and stuff. That was pretty funny, but I liked their interaction.
Yeah. What was really funny was that he basically tried to kill the guy.
Yeah,
he had him.
He stabbed him.
Yeah, he stabbed him. If he didn't have the nanotechnology, he's dead. So, he was pretty ruthless, but. When, you talked about this, when you go back to Spider-Man 2 and you see just before he went bad, you could see how he was a really, really good guy.
Yeah.
Like most of the Spider-Man characters, they're good people, but something goes wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, and that was good what they did with him at the end.
And when they fixed him, and then that was so awesome. I think I think it's in to talk about that later, but that was really cool. And like you were saying before, even though we knew that was coming in the trailer, it was still like a really, really good part, even though we kind of knew what was going on. And like, it was kind of like that scene also kind of gave you an indicator of like how the people were from the multiverse were getting pulled from different points in time, because like when he came back, he was asking about the machine from Spider-Man 2. He's like, what did you do with my machine? And that was from like before he died. So I kind of like how they kind of drop hints about how the multiverse works, and it kind of helps you not be confused with how it's working, where all the villains are coming from, and how it's possible that they're back, and even though they're like dead, so I kind of liked how they did that too. But then at the same time, that's when Green Goblin comes in, and his whole situation was just crazy. He caused so many issues, and like
as he should.
Yeah, he was just off the hinges.
That's what the Goblin does.
It was so nuts.
Yep.
And like out of all of the villains that showed up, would you say that he was the main one out of the 5 of them? Like
him and Doc Ock definitely were the top 2, and then you have the close third with Electro.
Yeah.
They were the 3 that they focused the most on, which they should have.
Yeah.
They did it right. They did it right. And the way that they all played their characters was excellent.
Yeah, I even liked how Electro got like a new design too, compared to the
a
makeover.
And you know what's funny? So I like that they made him really cool.
Yeah,
like he's buff and he's and they make jokes about it. The lizard, poking fun about his
it's split teeth, and you have a bad comb-over.
But I like that they did that. I think that was cool that they made him cool, and they started him off looking like the blue guy.
I noticed that
Spider-Man 2, and then he changed.
Yeah, once he had like the arc reactor. And
So I thought that was good. I have no problems with that. People might nitpick because he's not what he was.
He changed so much.
Him. Yeah, but that's okay. They just made the character better. I'm all right with that.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with that. But I think one of my favorite parts with Green Goblin and Peter is when they were fighting in the condo thing, and he's like putting him through walls and stuff. That was such a good fighting scene.
That was great. See, a lot of people forget, and I told you when I went back and looked at Spider-Man 1, and it was funny how when Osborn gets the serum, it was very, very similar to when Captain America got his.
Yeah.
He was in a chamber and he got injected. So I was telling your brother that he's basically fighting Captain America. Yeah. That's why he's putting him through 3 walls.
Yeah. That's why I was confused, because I probably should have rewatched the Tobey movies before coming in, because like I remembered them, but I don't remember that how strong he was.
He's very strong, and you saw how he was fighting.
Yeah,
that's why he's such a problem. Like he holds his own, in hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah,
and he's a genius. He's
exactly.
Osborn.
Yeah,
and all the bombs.
Yeah,
and all the cool things that he uses.
Those bombs, man. Those were so irritating.
Yeah, and that's what was cool, was that he did exactly the way he should have been done. He started off where he's trying to get it together, and you could tell when Octavius says, you're about to get whole, and you could see how he's kind of slow to react.
Yeah, he's like, that stuff didn't look great.
That. I think he had already changed, and then he just starts wreaking havoc.
Yeah. Oh, but I love how they did the spider sense with like someone wasn't right, and Peter kind of just out of nowhere, the camera like zooms out and he's not hearing things right. And he's like, "What's wrong?" He's like, "I don't know." Yeah. And he shoots. And I was like, "What's going on?" And then he starts talking in that voice. It's like, "Oh no, that's not good."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe was great.
Oh, he was so good.
He plays that character so well when he makes that change, and he starts talking that way, and he starts getting under his skin.
That was awesome.
It was well done.
Yeah, definitely.
Well done.
Yeah,
well done.
That was so cool. Yep. Man, but with what he did with Aunt May and Aunt May's death, were you expecting that at all? No, I was not expecting Aunt May to die.
And see, that's the thing. It never even came to my mind that she could be taken out.
Oh yeah.
But when that glider hit her, I said,
that was.
I think she's done.
But then I thought she was fine because then she got back up, and I was like, "Oh, then we're cool."
Yes. But here's what should have been the clue. When she said, "With great power comes great responsibility," that should. And some people in the audience
they knew it.
Caught it.
Really?
Some people behind me were like,
it didn't hit me when she said that.
When she said that, I heard some people say, "Oh." No. and then so I'm watching. And then I think I told Sherry, I said, I think she's done. And then she started to stumble.
Yeah.
And I said, yep, she's dead.
Yeah. See, I got worried because when she got up, I was like, oh, we're good. But then she was like shaking and trembling, and she couldn't like breathe. And I was like, why can't she breathe?
Hit pretty hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also was thinking if it has the spikes.
Yeah.
So even if she survived the hit and the head injury, she's bleeding.
Yeah.
She's bleeding out.
Yeah, it was terrible. She didn't even know that she was not making it. She was because he felt
she was
the blood.
Coherent though.
Yeah,
she was
talking,
she was telling
responding.
Him. She said, what he said about my being a charity case and helping people. He's wrong about that. We have to help everybody. But then, looking back, it caught me off guard, which was great because I didn't expect it. But then thinking about the big picture, this is probably something that had to happen. Yeah. Because a lot of people who have dug into this realize they say that, what really defines Spider-Man is when he has tragedy. And really when you read the comics, Peter Parker has been through it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So Tom Holland did deal with it with Iron Man. But this one, I think, really got him.
Yeah, I feel like this was the most serious that we've ever seen.
Yeah, and I think he needed that. Yeah. He needed that. All the other ones went through it.
Yeah. Yeah, with Uncle Ben and Gwen.
They went through it.
Yeah.
So I think that it had to happen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's weird because, like, when you think about him compared to, like, all of the other Spider-Man, this is, like, the only one that's lost both Aunt May and Uncle Ben, because I was rewatching Homecoming the other day, and he referenced Uncle Ben, but he died. So then his Uncle Ben died, but then also his Aunt May died, and then his parents are out of the picture. So this is like, but we didn't really get a sense of the Uncle Ben or the parents or anything, but this is like the really real death that we've gotten of this Peter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So. Yeah, but.
Yeah, that was a shame.
It was terrible.
That was a shame.
Yeah.
But I think that's what adds to the movie.
Yeah.
It's funny.
And then it's really serious.
It's serious. It gets dark.
Yeah.
It's funny again. I think that's a lot of people who came out. They say it's a roller coaster.
Yeah, and it's crazy how they can flip between like all of those like different. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but and I think that's the part where he really starts to like regret having to try to fix all of the villains once it blows up. Blows up in his face.
She caused it. She caused it. She wanted to fix him and she died because she wanted to fix them.
Exactly.
He was right. Should have sent them home.
Yeah,
he was right.
So understandable why he's so mad, because there's a part where he's like, I'm done. I'm done. Yeah. I want you all gone. I want them gone.
Yeah, I'm sending you home.
Exactly.
I'm sending you home.
Yeah. And then but this is when the Spider-Man come back though. This is the main part, and I feel like people have been suspecting the Spider-Man coming back for so long that that was just like the main part of the movie we were just all like searching for. Mm-hmm. So like when they came back, which Spider-Man were you more excited to like see come back? Tobey or Andrew?
I always felt that if they did this, it had to be both.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
They can't just have one of them.
That would have just been weird.
Yeah. So they both had to come together.
Yeah.
I've always told you, I think that all of them had different things that they brought to the table, but I liked all the Spider-Men.
Yeah.
So if they weren't in it, if only one was in it, I was gonna be mad.
Yeah.
So they brought.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you.
That's all. I remember. I told you.
Yeah.
I said before I went to see it. I said I just want to see both. If I see both, I'll be happy. And the good thing that I did was I go on YouTube and stuff and social media, but I have not really read anything about No Way Home for the last 6 months. So I didn't see any of the rumors. I didn't see any of the pictures that leaked out. I didn't even see the.
You didn't see the picture? Oh wow!
No, I didn't see that. I didn't see. I never saw that. I didn't see the Jimmy Kimmel interview where he showed the video where the lizard gets hit.
Oh yeah,
but
that was so funny.
They took him out.
Yeah.
So I didn't see any of that.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what was going on. I went in there blind, thinking there's a good chance they're in it. There's a good chance they might not be. I don't know.
Yeah, that was probably better though.
Yeah. It was awesome because when they popped up. Wow, that was
so crazy.
Yeah, the crowd was going nuts.
Oh yeah, I feel like it's like one of the coolest things like pulled off, and like this is gonna be like talked about for forever now because it's just something that I don't know. It was just crazy.
I think if you think about this 10 years ago, thinking that first of all that Marvel's gonna finally get Spider-Man, they're gonna get to use them. They still don't own the rights, but they cut a deal. They finally get to use him. Him being in the MCU is a big deal. But then him being in the MCU and them allowing Sony's characters
to come in on
the
room
on the MCU.
Yeah, never would have
This is it was brilliant.
Yeah, legendary stuff.
Brilliant.
Legendary
stuff.
That's
why it's like top movie.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I think it's up there with some of the best. In all the phases of MCU.
Would you say that like Infinity War and Endgame, where do they land on? Like
me and your brother were talking about this, and
I think that's a hard question, but I don't know.
No, I think I had Infinity War, No Way Home, and Endgame.
Okay, that's fair. I could see that. Yeah, I agree with that.
That's the way I had it.
Yeah, I definitely it's definitely way at the top with the big ones.
It seriously is.
Yeah, definitely. So like. That's the thing. Like, how are they going to top that? Like, what's? I mean, obviously,
that's what we were saying when they had Endgame. Yeah. When they had Endgame, me and all my friends said it's only going to go downhill from this point. There's no way that they're going to be able to top this.
Yeah.
So, to me, this was a monumental event that they pulled off.
Oh,
this was huge.
Yeah.
And I'm shocked that they were able to. This thing's going to break records.
Oh yeah, it's like right. I think it beat. I can't remember. I think it beat Infinity War for like the most money for box office or something like that.
Yeah, I don't understand it all. And,
yeah.
And there's also something that China's not involved.
Which
really?
Means,
there's something with China. I don't know what it is.
Oh wow, China's involved. Then.
But it's making a lot of money. It's huge. It's a great movie. I'm telling you, it's just a huge achievement that they pulled off here.
Yeah, I love how they.
But you asked, what's the next big thing? Well, you got to remember, there's still stuff that they can do now with this. Mm-hmm. Now we're hearing these Andrew Garfield rumors. And, but you got to remember, there's more to come.
Yeah.
They still haven't used the X-Men yet. They still haven't used the Fantastic
Four
yet. They can
use. So when you say X-Men, are you talking about like? Are they allowed to use like Hugh Jackman?
They can use them now.
Okay,
yeah.
That's very promising. Yeah, that's really good.
So that's probably the next big thing is something like that.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four they can use now.
Oh yeah.
But to me, I mean, nobody's really ever gotten the Fantastic Four right. But if they that'll probably be a good thing.
You didn't like Chris Evans as what's his name?
You kidding me? That's crazy. That was. Yeah, it was okay for the time.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to see how they would, redo.
Yeah, but I think, if you think of what the next big thing is it's got to be when they introduce the X-Men.
Yeah. Do you think that Hugh Jackman would come back and do that? I don't.
Well, you got to think about it. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
They've got a multiverse now.
Yeah. The question
so they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And I heard he's willing to do it. So
that's
so
even better.
Think about that.
Think
about if they, use him in a cameo or something like that. Wouldn't that be
People
incredible?
Freak out.
That would be incredible.
Yeah. That would be so cool.
Yep.
Yeah. But like okay, so back to when the Spider-Man came back. When Ned was opening the portal.
Brilliant.
and you saw Andrew. Did you know it was him when you saw him?
No.
You didn't.
So he's out there, right? And they're like, Peter, come on. So he's looking and he's running, and then he hops through. Everybody starts cheering, and I'm still unsure.
Really?
Yeah, because I didn't do my research. I needed to look back at the suits.
Yeah.
Because if you know the suits, you'll know who it is right away.
Exactly.
And plus, he's taller. But I'm looking at him, and I'm like, okay, which one is he? I wasn't sure who it was. So people are already starting to clap. Yeah. And then he takes the mask off.
Yeah. Oh, that does it. Yeah.
And then everybody just goes going crazy.
I didn't know you didn't know when you saw.
I was unsure.
Oh.
Yeah. When they're calling him, I'm like, okay, this maybe this is it. And he comes through, and I'm getting excited. People are already starting to clap because they recognized who he was. I wasn't quite sure.
Yeah. I feel like when I looked through and I saw, I feel like I had a feeling that it was...
You knew it was Garfield right away?
I knew it was.
At what point?
When Ned fully opened the circle and you could see like the whole alley he's standing in.
You knew that... You did not know...
You
didn't know it was Andrew Garfield, though.
I did.
How?
Because the suit, you could tell by the suit, and then...
It was in the dark!
But you can still tell, though.
But the way they did it was so cool.
It was so good.
That was so cool.
I loved it.
Peter, come on. Peter, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Man. So then...
That was awesome.
But, when they tried, they're like, try again. Did you kind of okay, now it's gotta be Toby.
Yeah. Now you know Toby's coming.
Yeah.
So we already knew that, and that one, you could tell as soon as he steps in... You know it's him, and everybody was going nuts. Yeah, everybody was going crazy. So cool. That was an excellent introduction. Yeah, I probably watched that scene on YouTube 10 times. Oh my goodness,
the reaction videos for that are just insane.
I like the reaction videos.
I love them. They get pulled down every couple hours, but somebody keeps putting up the same clip. So there's always But that's why you got to be careful though if you haven't seen it yet, and then going on YouTube because that's the first thing that comes up.
And there's people. Who have their own podcasts and they have major YouTube shows and they spoiled it for themselves. Yeah, they went on YouTube and they were scrolling and they saw something.
Why? That
I would not have. I would have stayed away from it totally.
I would have been so mad if I got spoiled.
Yeah.
That
Thank goodness I didn't get any alerts. I don't know why I didn't because usually I get YouTube alerts. Yeah, but that's for fantasy.
Yeah,
football.
You're right. I didn't get any for
Spider-Man. I don't know why I didn't get anything. I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, that would have been horrible if I got spoiled for that. That would be terrible. Yeah. So okay. So, your rank of Spider-Man when it comes to the three of them. Who's at how would you order the three? Because I feel like I asked you twice, and I feel like you said two different things both times. So, I don't know. I don't know what you're going to say here.
Okay, so ranks of Spider-Man?
Yeah. I mean, I know what mine is.
Well, okay, so I got to think about the full package.
Yeah.
It's probably for me, Tom Holland, Maguire, Garfield. But with that being said, I think that they are all very close. I think a lot of people have always had Garfield at the lowest, and I think that he wasn't given a fair shake. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you really look at those Amazing Spider-Man movies, They're thought so he did such a good job. Yeah, and I really thought that when he gets emotional and when he cries, Tom Holland. See, that's the thing about Tom Holland. Tom Holland, he's right up there. When he's upset. You could tell he's upset, Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people complain that he came across too childish, but he was in high school. Yeah. That's the way he was supposed to be. Yep. So I think that the full package, he was great. Tobey Maguire was good for his time, but everybody always laughs when he cries and gets emotional.
Or when he
There's memes about
when he screams. Those are the funny.
It's not really real.
Yeah, you're right.
Andrew Garfield, when he gets emotional, it was real.
Yeah.
It was real.
Definitely.
So they all brought different aspects, I think, that were good for them. If I'm ranking them overall, I think it was Tom Holland. When they started using him, I was like, oh man, he's the best one. Yeah. But then Tobey Maguire was the first, and he was my favorite. And then Andrew Garfield, just by default. Yeah. But that's no slight on him. Yeah. I think he's good, and he's getting his... I think he's getting his...
That would be amazing if he got
his justice now.
Yeah, because people now are realizing that
people love him.
He's actually good.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He was great in the movie. Yeah. He was great. He said a lot of one-liners.
Yeah, he was very funny, actually. Yeah, he was funny. Yeah. I feel like it took me a while to come around and say that Tom Holland's my favorite, because I always was like, Andrew's my favorite, Andrew. But I feel like after, I don't know, realizing that Tom Holland can do both, like, Peter Parker really well and also, like, actual Spider-Man really well, I was like, okay, so Tom Holland's the first, and then Andrew Garfield for me, because I feel like, I don't know.
Okay.
Andrew,
I could accept that.
Yeah.
I could accept
Toby's
that.
great.
Yeah.
But I feel like, yeah. So, okay, so now that with all that being said, favorite moments with all of the three being together in the movie.
Okay. Well, my favorite, which was hilarious, was when they're fighting, when they're on the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
And Sandman gets hit, and he goes down, and he's building up all this sand. He's flying around, and the three Spider-Men, they meet up in the scaffolding, and they're like, dude, we don't know what the heck we're doing. What was that? Because they don't know how to fight together, right? Which is a good point. They've never fought in a team. They've always been individuals. So when they have that exchange, and Tom Holland's like, he's like, hey, man, I don't want to brag, but I'm going to. I used to be in a group. I was in the Avengers, and Tobey Maguire's like, "That's great. What is that?" And then Andrew's like, "Is that a band? You were in a band?" Oh, that was.
He's like, "You don't know who that is?" Everybody, he's like, "What? How is this helping?"
That was so funny. That was. But they had a lot of that.
Oh, yeah. Throughout. Yeah. I loved their dynamic together. It was so great.
Yeah, they're talking about the web stuff coming out of them.
Well, yeah,
which I think everybody always wanted to talk about that, because they're always like, for him, it came out of his glands.
Yeah.
Which was always kind of weird. Yeah. And they actually addressed it. They actually talked about it.
That's been, like, I remember seeing memes about that for, like, a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. Like, Tobey Maguire having the natural. That was so funny. Yeah.
That was a great exchange when they were...
When they were doing the lab together.
They were doing the lab. Yep. And when Ned's like, he goes up to
Toby.
Goes up to Toby. He's like, have you had a best friend? He's like, yeah, I did. He died in my arms just before he tried to kill me. Ned's like,
startled. And then Tom's like, can you check the computer? He's like, yeah. And he just scurries away.
Yeah. From that point on, when from when they introduced them to the end, was
perfect.
It was good building up to it, but it just took off from there.
Yeah. And you know what part I also really liked was when, I think it was right after Aunt May died, and then he first meets them on the roof, because then MJ and Ned, like, you gotta talk to some people. And he was talking about how he was like, these are villains from your guys' university. They're like, yeah. He's like, you could deal with it. This is your problem. I'll send you all home. And then they start, like, relating how my Uncle Ben, like, died, and they just start connecting all these. I don't know. I really like that part a lot. But yeah, there are so many good parts with all the three of them together, though. Yeah.
There was a lot of good interchanges all the way up to the end.
Yeah.
All the way up to the end.
Yeah. But we gotta talk about. This wasn't when, like, all three of them, but when Andrew saves MJ, that was like one thing going in that I really, really wanted to see. Was something had to, I don't know.
I had no expectations about that at all.
I needed to see something with that.
That totally caught me off guard.
Really?
I didn't expect that. No.
Wow.
And when she fell, I'm still thinking to myself, okay, I'm still not thinking that Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man's going to get involved. And then when Tom Holland went to get her and he gets taken out,
that was so good.
The audience,
they knew. They
gasps.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh no.
Yeah.
And now I'm starting to think, okay, they can't let her die.
Yeah.
They cannot let this happen.
No. Yeah.
And then you see Andrew jump in, everybody starts clapping.
Yeah, that was perfect. Yeah. See, now I understand why you wouldn't have, like, gone in expecting to see that, because I saw people made edits of, like, photo, like, they edited themselves of him saving her. And I was like, man, that's such a cool idea. I hope that happens. And then it happened, and I was still really excited.
I'm glad I didn't see any of that stuff, because I was totally caught off guard, and I'm, like, trying to figure out what's going on here.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to get her? Oh, no. Is she going to die? Oh, no. And then, and Andrew Garfield jumps in, and once he jumps in, he's going to get her.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and then he starts crying.
He starts crying, yeah. We all know what he's thinking.
And that's what he's good at. That's what he's good at.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a touching moment.
That was perfect. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I loved that. That was so good. Oh, man. But I gotta say, I think out of I don't know. This has to be one of my favorite parts of the movie. Was the final fight between Peter and the Green Goblin on the
Yeah, they were actually on the shield.
Yeah, on the stat. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was that was so good because that was the most mad you'll ever see. Tom Holland Spider-Man. Yeah, he was mad.
He had rage.
Yeah, exactly.
He was gonna kill him.
Yeah, he straight up said that. I'm gonna want to kill you right now. Yeah. And I was like,
and he was going to. Mm-hmm. He had him.
Yeah. That was perfect. Yep. Yeah, it was so good because I feel like that was kind of like part 2 of the first fight of them in the condo because they were fighting and he couldn't get him to go down. He was like punching him. He was laughing. He was laughing. But now he's actually like getting.
He lost somebody. Now he's filled with rage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was a good exchange.
Yeah.
And like watching it the third time, they had a good sequence where he gets him, he takes him, he gets him in the he takes his knee, he gets him in his face, and then he takes him and he flips him, and then he starts punching him in the face.
Yeah.
He lost it, and I thought that was
perfect.
what needed to happen. It got dark.
Yeah, and I honestly didn't know it was gonna. I was getting concerned. I was like, he actually might kill him. Yeah. But then I thought it was so fitting that Toby came in, and because you could tell they were getting a little. Him and Andrew were like, "Oh no, he's about to do something," and he comes in. I thought that was so fitting, that part where he stopped him because I don't know, because if it was Andrew, it would have been good, but I feel like with Toby it was the best choice because he actually killed him. Like he actually was the one to kill Goblin in the other movie. And I don't know, that was just a perfect part for me. Yeah. That was awesome.
I got a little nervous when he got stabbed in the back. I was like, don't kill him.
Yeah. That actually scared me.
Don't do that.
That actually scared me.
I was actually a little worried for a minute there that I was like, don't. It would have been a little bit too much to take his character out. You cannot do that.
I think that would have actually made some people mad. Like if they killed him.
Don't do that.
That would have been so. I remember thinking that too.
Worried.
Like, I was like, oh no, because he was laying on the floor for a while and he wasn't getting up. I was like, oh.
Yep.
That didn't look so good.
Yeah, I got nervous.
Yeah.
So, which again is what added to the movie, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. All these like surprising parts. It was so good. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm glad they didn't kill him. But that means that he might come up somewhere else and down the road. Do you think they'll use Toby again?
I think they will. From what I'm hearing, there's talks. The rumor that's going on right now is that they want to use Andrew Garfield maybe in a film. And then let Toby do some cameos. Yeah. Yeah, which I think would be great.
Yeah, I would be in for that.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
I'm all in for that.
Yeah. Okay, so then after they all fight and everything's kind of, I can't even say fixed up because it's not really fixed. With the end.
Yeah, it's not fixed.
What did you think of the ending? Like what?
I think it was sad. It was sad,
and
which I believe is nice because every movie can't always be
happy at the end,
ending, rose-colored glasses. This was not that. This one was not. They don't know who he is.
That was so sad to watch.
It's very sad.
Yeah,
it's very sad. And he now has. And you caught that. I told you that thing had the GED.
Yeah, okay.
So he's still got to finish high school.
Yeah, that was
they don't know who he is.
Yeah.
So he's got to go through that nonsense now. And he's got to. He's like a blank slate.
Yeah.
So.
And he's alone. He's living in an apartment by himself.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah. And that's the thing. After the first, the new suit. Did you like the new suit? What did you like it?
He sewed it himself. I mean, what do you expect?
But like,
what do you expect? That's sad.
Yeah.
The guy was running around in a nanotechnology.
Oh, and now he's
Tony Stark suit. And now he's running around.
I didn't think about it like that. Now he has to make his own. I didn't think about it like from that.
Yeah.
Because from my point, I was like, oh yeah, that's a new suit. That's awesome. But like, because now he lost all the other suits he had because nobody.
Yeah, it's so sad.
Yeah, and that's like I wouldn't call it satisfying per se because at the end it's like nobody, it's not satisfying.
I don't even think Doctor Strange is supposed to know who he is anymore from what he said.
Yeah, because he was like, "It's nice knowing you," and I was like, "Oh, he's not even he would remember." Yeah, that was
sad.
Yeah, but honestly, I couldn't have thought of a better way for it to end. I think that was like the perfect ending, even though it was really sad. It just made it more meaningful.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know how he's gonna come back from that. I don't know, how. I
mean, he's still Spider-Man, so.
Yeah.
But it's kind of almost like they gave him a fresh start again.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
So now they can basically do whatever they want.
That's true. Yeah. And it hurts me to say this, but like I don't know when the next time we're gonna be seeing him is, because even at the end of the movie we didn't get anything like Spider-Man will return or like nothing like. I don't know. I mean,
but
obviously,
there is going to be a Spider-Man 4.
Obviously.
That, so I don't know.
You don't know when
that'll
happening,
be.
Right? Yeah.
Or what the plots will be, but we'll see him again. You know, the I don't know if you want to talk about the extra credit scene at the end or the.
No, yeah, we can if you want. Yeah,
well, so, but with that symbiote being left behind, with the.
Oh my goodness!
with the Tom Hardy extra credit scene,
that was kind of funny.
That was funny.
Yeah,
which is a continuation of Venom Carnage, which I did not see.
You didn't see
so
that?
I had to go back and look at that. So I had to see
weird.
that scene, and then watch this. So they left you something that he may have to deal with. Later.
That would be. I'm just wondering how they would do that, like a Venom for this.
Yeah,
MCU.
I don't know.
That would be so interesting. They'd probably do it really well, though.
Yeah, I hope they do it better than
the Spider-Man 3.
Or no, not even that. Like even the Venom now, like
in his own
Spider-Man 3 one was terrible, but the one now, I can deal with it, but it's still kind of weird.
It was weird.
Like because I don't understand. Like he's like talking. He's like. Talking to the guy.
It's just abstract.
And he tries to be funny. It's very strange.
Yeah, he's like being funny by like eating somebody's head off.
Yeah. Like that's not the Venom I remember in the comics. So but we'll see what they do with it.
Yeah. But like,
but it was sad. It was very sad when MJ and Ned
just walked right past him.
Yeah, but even before that, when he told them that they weren't going to remember, like Ned was crying.
They're all crying.
All the stuff that they did is just gone.
Yeah, that's so. All the past movies.
It's gone.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
Yeah. So like at the end when they're in the coffee shop and he was gonna try to say something, then he didn't, and then he walked out. Did you like get the sense that like MJ was kind of like something was kind of there?
I was wondering.
Yeah,
when she was kind of squinting as he walked away. I was wondering if she was somehow remembering something.
Yeah, it was kind of like the face of like I don't know, like I know you, but I can't place you, like something like that. I don't know, but yeah. But then nobody said.
I was kind of thinking about that myself.
Yeah, but
it's sad.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it was still such a good ending though. Yeah, loved it. Okay, so this will probably be your favorite part because I know you wanted to talk about these, but plot holes. Mm-hmm. Now, I usually talk about stuff I didn't like in the movie, but there was really nothing I didn't like because it was kind of perfect. But what are some plot holes that you came across?
I did not have any, but I've looked at a lot of reviews and some people pointed out some things.
Yeah.
But they're very and they're very minor. Like one guy brought up that like when Willem Dafoe was introduced, they said from a movie making standpoint they should have kind of like shot up, and I think that he made a good point because we really. So I guess if you really knew the suits, you would have known which Green Goblin that was. But I wasn't sure. Like what if who's to say that it couldn't have been the one from Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Well, I mean, we're talking about like suit wise.
Yeah. Like
that one never had. He never had the face.
Okay, so right away we knew that it was Willem Dafoe.
Oh yeah,
right?
Definitely.
So what the guys were saying is that they probably should have, when they first showed him, they did it in a weird way. Like they showed the mask and then they show him right away and he's sitting there. They should have like panned up to him to give him a nice introduction because he is a serious character.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. That's very particular.
Yeah, that's like a movie making.
Shots,
that's movie making. So some of the other issues, minor ones, which me and you talked about was. I'm going to get to that. Okay. Doctor Strange would really have never done this spell in the first place.
Yeah,
he knows
that's
better.
A good point.
And I never even saw the Doctor Strange movies, but I know based upon what they went through in Endgame that he would not have done this. He would not have done this. Yeah. Not because a kid can't get into college.
Yeah.
So that I got. That one was a little bit too easy.
Yeah.
Even Wong just kind of
he just
walking
left.
out.
Like, just leave me out of this. And that was it.
But he knew how serious it was, so That kind of was a little flimsy, but it's okay. I give that a pass.
Yeah. I saw another one where it was like, in reality, Peter should have just asked everybody to forget Mysterio, and then they wouldn't have to be particular about, don't forget, make sure that this person remembers, and, because, like, that's, I don't know, I came across that the other day where he could have just, and then the movie would have just, the movie would have just never happened.
Yeah, then you don't have a movie.
Exactly, yeah. But,
So I feel like I give that a pass.
Yeah, it doesn't really count. Yeah.
Yeah, and me and you talked about Sandman. So here's the weird thing, and I want to see if I can find out anything about it. They did the characters right, because they did 5 villains. It's hard to give everybody equal time. Basically, Sandman and Lizard, didn't get much. And you don't even see the real actors till the very end. It's very brief.
So, even with the Lizard, like
you see him. You see
like
nothing.
his regular human eye. And
So I don't know what was going on with that, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But Sandman, I didn't quite get. Like, what's your deal? Like,
so wait, can you explain what? Because they don't.
Okay,
explain your problem.
All right, so he shows up and he helps Peter.
Yeah.
And then he realizes it's not his Peter, but he's okay with it. Then Peter sends Electro away, and then Sandman starts getting upset. He puts him away, all right? And now he's trying to help him. He's trying to help the dude. And he knows that he's the only way he's going to send him home.
Yeah.
So when they're working in the house and Doc Ock gets fixed, everybody's starting to see that this is working.
Yeah.
So right away, Sandman should have been like, okay, this is going to work. He's going to fix me, and then he's going to get me home.
Yeah.
But as soon as Osborn loses it, Sandman starts losing his mind.
Just turns.
Starts turning on everybody. Yeah. I'm like, what are you doing? You don't have to do that.
That's
what are
so
you
funny,
doing, man?
Because I remember I didn't notice it the first time I watched it, but then you told me, and then we watched it the second time, and I was like, I was waiting for it, and then I saw by the beginning of the conversation, he was with Peter, and then right at the end, he just created a cycle out of nowhere.
It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that was a little bit of a weird one.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he's trying to kill them all. Yeah. It's like this is your way home, man.
Exactly.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
So I thought that was a little odd.
Yeah.
A lot of people had complaints about the way that they did Doctor Strange, which is related to what I was saying before.
What's wrong with Doctor Strange?
Well, first of all, he does the spell, which he would never have done. Mm-hmm. And then he gets outsmarted by Peter.
Oh, okay. I can
He's in his mirror world.
And then he sells it with math. Yeah.
That's almost impossible.
Yeah, that's true.
So that one was a little bit odd too, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah, that didn't bother me.
To me, they're minor things. People have probably seen some other little things, but overall, I guess another thing too is that they were able to come up with all these things to fix these dudes in a lab at the high school.
Yeah.
Like, you really have
or in his house, in the condo,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, like you have all the items you need.
Well, the fabricator. They got the fabricator.
Yeah, but when they were in the high school, he's making the serum for Osborn.
Yeah. What
are you using? Iodine?
Wait, you're talking about when the 3 Spider-Man was
they're at the high school.
Yeah, that's true.
I was in high school in lab. It was Bunsen burners and iodine and a couple other things.
Yeah.
So they had, that they had the materials to come up with all the cures for them. Was a little flimsy, but again, I'm not going to complain.
Yeah. Well, okay, so something that I noticed only on the second time of watching it was the situation with the lizard. Because do you remember when they were all going in the house and then it was like he was like, where's the lizard guy? She's like, he just wanted to stay in the truck. Mm-hmm. And he's there the whole time until everybody starts, like, Green Goblin goes off the hinges and the whole fight starts. And then all of a sudden when they're all fighting, he just leaves the truck and he's gone.
Yeah,
and I was like, wait, he actually was never there. Like, how would he know to, you know what I mean? But I don't know.
Yeah, he leaves the truck and then he gets a hold of Peter at one point and says, you see what you do when you try to mess with people? Things always go bad. And he throws them away.
And then
he takes off.
That was really funny.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
That was a weird, a whole weird exchange.
Yeah. I think that was just to give the lizard some screen time.
Yeah, I think so.
But that wasn't, the plot
there was another thing that we talked about.
What?
In the building. They're fighting in the building.
Yeah.
He's putting them through walls, going through floors.
Oh, yeah.
He blows up the bottom. Where's all the people?
Oh, okay.
There's people in that building.
Yeah.
I didn't see one person.
But the thing is, we haven't seen anybody in.
And they said people got hurt. They said in the broadcast afterwards, the guy says that there were some people were injured and one death.
Oh,
so people,
that's a good point.
Where were they? I never saw any of them.
Even when they were like going through different rooms of there was no people at all. That's a good point.
That's a good point. Everybody? Like Happy owned this building?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because I was like, that's the only other explanation, that Happy owns the whole complex.
But people were going in, so it was kind of weird. But again, I don't care.
I
don't care.
Yeah, that wouldn't take away at all for me from the overall movie at all. Or anything. Nope. Yeah. Okay, yep. So, but like overall, would you say character development with this Peter Parker, the Tom Holland Spider-Man? Mm-hmm. I feel like this was. Would you say this was like the main? This was the main stage of development for this Peter Parker to go through? Yeah. I would totally say that.
Yeah, everybody says really that. Well. Everybody says that this is when Spider-Man becomes a Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So instead of Spider-Boy, people
exactly.
said. And I would agree.
Yeah,
this is going to kind of mature him a little bit. But I never really had a problem with the Spider-Man in high school. Yeah. I didn't have a problem with that either. I've always actually enjoyed when they have him in high school.
Yeah.
Like I was watching Spider-Man 1 with Tobey, and I liked it when he was in high school. I thought it was pretty cool. So I always enjoyed that aspect of it. But now this is definitely maturing.
Yeah. But I feel like you definitely need the first few movies of him, just starting out or whatever, just to just show the progression in order to, because you can't have this big serious movie with him, emerging as I don't know, just emerging how he is now without the first ones where he's without Homecoming, without where he's just regular kid with the powers and stuff. But yeah, it's a lot more serious feeling in this one. But I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah. All right. So overall, what would your recommendations be for, I don't know, for somebody who is just coming into Spider? Would you say that they would have to see the other movies first?
I told you, because you have that friend who hasn't seen one of them
that was
yet.
Painful to hear.
I hate to say it, but if somebody really wants to get the full impact of this movie,
they would have to watch.
You have to see all of them.
Yep, I agree.
You have to see all of them, and that's. What is that? That's 7 movies? Mm-hmm. 3, 5.
3, 2.
Yeah, that's 7. Mm-hmm. I feel like if you want to get the real impact, you got to watch all 7.
Yeah, it definitely wouldn't mean as much if you went in there not having watched Garfield or Toby or whatever.
Yeah. Like when I'll tell you, and I'll give you the one moment when Garfield saved MJ. And he was crying. Mm-hmm. I felt for him.
Yeah,
because I remember being in the theater when she was falling, and I was and I knew the comic that had happened. And I was like, Gwen Stacy, she's not going to make it. She's not going to make it. This is sad. And she died. Yeah. And I felt bad for him. That messed him up.
Yeah.
That messed him up.
Exactly.
The other thing, too, that I forgot to also mention was I liked the way that they handled MJ in this movie. If you watch, as the movie goes, from when he's swinging around with her, and then they're in high school, and then as they start progressing, and when the new Spider-Men come in, she, to me, changed.
Oh, yeah.
I agree. She was like a different MJ.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah.
I don't like the mysterious, creepy one.
Oh, you're from Homecoming?
I don't like that.
Had no friends.
Remember I told you? I was like, that's not MJ. That was not MJ.
I was very confused.
Yeah.
Like,
what are you doing? It's just like Flash. That's not Flash. Get him out of there. So, but see that. So now, as I'm watching it closely when we watched it last night, and I'm watching it how she changed, and she almost changed into a different person. Mm-hmm. I thought she was pretty cool.
She was, I liked her a lot by the end. I feel like this was her best movie, this MJ.
I like the way they did that.
Yeah, she did really good. Yeah.
Zenday's
acting was actually really good.
Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah, but overall, I would recommend this to anyone. You would obviously have to watch the other movies, but I would recommend this to as many people as possible, this movie.
Yeah, if you want to get, if you can, if you have a clean slate, you got to watch the previous movies. Don't watch any YouTube reviews. Mm-hmm. Don't watch any YouTube videos, spoilers. Don't watch any theories. If you can do that, you'll get
You're set.
so much fun out of this movie.
Oh yeah.
And I going in, I didn't even think about it. I was like, yeah, it's coming up. It's coming December. I never went on YouTube looking at rumors. I never did that, and I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, yes. Yeah. I saw the rumors, but it was even with that, it was still like mind-blowing.
Like I didn't know how serious it was. Like I didn't know if there was a good chance they would be in it or not. I didn't know.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I didn't.
It was so good. Yeah, it was so surprising. And I feel like if you can go in even with suspicions and then come out still surprised, even though like all the suspicions were right, then that's a great accomplishment for a movie to do.
Yeah, I still think it was a job well done.
Absolutely.
Hard to keep that secret, but
yeah,
it was good enough for me.
Yeah. Yep. Well, you know what? I think that'll just about do it. Is there anything else that you wanted to squeeze in that we didn't mention or anything?
No. It's just that this is definitely a movie that everybody needs to see it multiple times, and it's one that I'm going to be buying and having in my library.
Exactly. It's definitely one of those movies that we have to have on in person.
Yep.
It's too good.
Yep.
Well, you know what? Thanks, Dad, for agreeing to come on the show and do this episode.
Thanks for having me as your guest.
Absolutely. And
I
thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Yes, absolutely.
That was fun.
Yeah, hopefully, maybe you'll come back.
Yeah.
Another one.
Maybe I will.
Yeah, it was very fun. Thank you very much. And thank you guys for tuning in on this week's episode. If you liked it, please feel free to drop an iTunes review. And also, I do have a YouTube channel as well for this. So feel free to give the video a like, too. That would definitely help out with the, analytics and stuff. And that would make my day. And also, if you'd like to write your own review for this movie, No Way Home, or anything else that's awesome or comic related, you can send it over to comicsandwhatnotpodcast@gmail.com. And I'll read it on the show for you and give you a shout out. So that'd be awesome. But again, guys, thank you for listening, everyone, and I will see you next time in the next episode. Bye!